Be bold with your predictions or don't say nothing at all. Let's talk some football.
Yeah, let's dive straight into it. Let's go ahead and start with the prince that is promised with the old Jaguars
I said we
themselves.
start with the best of the cream of the crizzy of the AF Sissy. Let's do it.
Oh, and an interesting game, speaking of it, to start the season. I don't know if I like this. Looking at this schedule actually too much. Ooh.
Jags, let's go ahead and just get to the nitty gritty. Let's tell the truth here. You start off 1-0, you're beating the Colts. That's just gonna happen. You got to assert your authority over the South early. I don't care how good the other boy look right now, even though he has been looking good, throwing a couple 50-yard bombs, a couple 60-yard bombs, But it's training camp. You should be able to do that. Give me the Prince. You
Yeah,
start off 1-0.
I'm gonna I'm gonna two times that one. I'm right there with you. I'm kind of high on the Colts this year, but nah, telling you week one versus the Jags.
Not week one versus the Jags high. I'm not that high. Not on them. Week two, and like I said, we just settling into reality. You're gonna lose to the king of the NFL, but it's all right. The Prince is gonna have another good showing. He's gonna show why he's the Prince in the AFC. But you move to 1-1, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's part of life. But things get better for you, and things are looking up. You play the Houston Texans the following week, and you get you another dub. You move to 2-1 on the season, strong 2-1. Mr. KC, did I just see the right signal on that? You just double
Yes,
that up,
sir.
another one.
Double that up.
Well, yeah. So you're 2-1 right now. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Because next week you get to play the Atlanta Falcons, and I picked the Falcons to lose that game even though I'm high on the Falcons and on their schedule, but you're gonna lose this game, Jags. You go 3-1. You get another one. And then you move on to October 8th, which is another game I think you're gonna win. You get to play the Buffalo Bills. And I already picked the Bills losing this game when I went over the Bills schedule. I got you at 4-1. And Mr. KC, who often tends to believe in Philip Rivers, is probably going to go with the Bills. But we got to see. Who you got, Mr. KC?
Yeah, I hate to break the Jags fans' heart, but am gonna pick
Going
the
with Philly
Bills here.
Riv.
But I think this is definitely a closer game than most people predict, and this is probably one of those games that we look back and say, "Look, Beard was right about this one all along." So I wouldn't be
That it does
surprised.
tend to happen. But hey, I'm not gloating. I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just watching and giving it the eye test, just like any other man could do if he really wants to pay attention. Um, Next game, you get you get the Colts again. It's sweep season. We're just gonna go ahead and move on to that. You're 5-1 on my end. Mr. KC just doubled another one on that. Dropped the Khaled, another one. Then you move on to the Saints, another one. You move to 6-1 on the season. You're pretty much dominating the South. This thing is looking pretty good, dude. Uh, Okay, after the Saints, you got the Steelers. And I think, did I have the Steelers winning this game? I think I do. I don't think the Jags will win this. This is one of the games I think I said Kenny
Yeah.
Pickett needed to prove itself. Yeah, so you move to 6-2, Jags. I got you losing to the Steelers.
Oh, that'd be 6-3 for you.
No, I only got them losing twice
Oh
so
no,
far.
actually, I think I'm. Yeah, hold on. I
Or I
think.
should have them at 5-2, I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
No, no, we're at. Yeah.
You got one more loss than I do because you picked the Bills.
Yeah, and this was the game that I think we had actually disagreed on during the Steelers picks because I would go with the Jaguars in this game.
Right. Yeah. I know I'm going with KP in now. So Kenny Pickett, like I said, you beat the Prince, like I said, because you got to make your showing to show that you're going to be the seventh best quarterback in the AFC
Mm.
right now. He's going to be top 10. He's going to work on it. The next game we got, we got the 49ers versus the Jags. And I'm not Mr. KC. I'm not as high on the Niners, and I believed I picked the Jags when we went over their roster because it's the Prince. These Jags are loaded almost at this point. They're 6-2. Mr. KC, who you got?
I'm going Niners. It's a better roster. I would
How?
say, though, that Trevor Lawrence is going to be the better quarterback in that matchup.
Without
And,
a
and, it,
doubt.
and it's not a – and you have the right to say how for
Right,
that question.
because the Jags got great wide receivers, and the
They
only
do have
person I can
great
think of is Debo Samuel. On the other end,
Ayake is pretty good. He's pretty good.
okay, I ain't gonna argue with that. He's decent, but I think the Jags basically.
And they got Kittle,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
well,
when he's not blocking
but which Kittle? Yeah, I'm about to say, are we getting blocking
or
Kittle because
hurt.
Brock Purdy and them playing, or
Right,
which Kittle we getting? So
right.
I, I got the Jags. There's too many questions for me with the Niners. I got the Jags.
You're almost selling me
6-2.
on it.
Dude, I don't. Yeah, stick to your guns. You might be right. This might be one of those. Next game we got though, and I'm sure this is a consensus pick. The Jags moved to 7-2 because you're going to beat the Titans. You're going to sweep the Titans this year. I should just add another win now for conversation's sake, but we'll get to it. You get the Texans again. That's another dub. You're 8-2. I got you 8-2 right now, and you moving into what I feel like is going to be the biggest win of the season for y'all because you're going to beat the Cincinnati Bengals December 4th, prime time in Jacksonville. Mr. KC.
I'm going to pick the Bengals, but dear Lord, do I hope you are right. That would just make my day.
Yes, sir. I thoroughly believe the Prince will get that win. Dude, these Jags are going to be serious, man. It's like I said, because this schedule, it started off looking kind of rough, but as it goes on, it's like, these are games that you're probably going to walk away with handedly.
It's
So,
a pretty cupcake finish after this Bengals game.
Oh, yeah, dude, because after that, like I said, I got them winning that game. After that, I got them going to 10-2 because you're going to beat the Browns. Like, it's Cleveland. That's another one.
Right.
And then moving on here, we got the Jags versus the Ravens. And like I said, depending on which Ravens you get, I'm still going to pick the Ravens now. I think the Jags go to 10-3. You lose this game. But after that, you pretty much win out.
Yeah, I'd give them a win out as well. I'm going to agree with you. They lose to the Ravens. And, I would say they win out against the Buccaneers, Panthers, and Titans. That's a pretty – I mean, that's like – let's guarantee the Jags a playoff spot. How much more can you do?
Let's make sure they get in there now. So I got them at that leaves us at 14-3 for Jacksonville, which will be, in my mind, pretty much almost accurate because I got them finishing maybe about 3 games behind Kansas City. Huh? You said what, Mr. KC?
I think I had you down at 13-4. I had you down at 13-4, and I've got 11-6.
Oh yeah, it is 13-4. I'm sorry, you're sure right. I said that backwards. Dyslexic. But yeah, Jacksonville, you're gonna win the South. This is pretty much it.
And that really should be enough to win the South. Yeah, that's got to be a game winner for the Jags.
10 wins should really win the South,
yeah.
But dude, the Jags win the South handily.
I think 8 and 9 could probably walk away with this
in the South. Sure could. Good night.